Hello and peace and blessings. Welcome to another episode of the Author Spotlight. I'm your host, Rob YB Youngblood, president of sales for Self-Publishing 30 Days. And I have the pleasure and the privilege to be here with a very sharp young man, Jeremiah O'Brien, who is an author. He's a leader. He's done a lot of great things within his school and is now transitioned into the world of his career. And so I wanted to get this young brother on because he's making some major moves. How you doing today, Jeremiah?
I'm doing good, Youngblood. Nice to have you on today. Thank you.
I love it. I love it. It's funny, man. You're probably the first guest to call me Youngblood, which is fine, man. Anybody could call me Youngblood, Rob, YB. Just don't call me Robert and don't call me broke. So we're good to go from there. So Jeremiah, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, cool. So I am Jeremiah O'Brien, former student body president at Norfolk State University. I am a self-published author of Prosper book, My Path to the Presidency of How I Overcame Identity to Becoming the SGA President, which is the student body president at Norfolk State University.
That's awesome, man. I won't hold that against you since I'm a graduate of Virginia Union. And, Virginia Union is the grandmother to Norfolk State, you know what I'm saying? And so we won't hold that against you, but we got something in common as well, right? Do we have something in common outside of being connected to HBCU?
The best fraternity in the world.
Come on,
Alpha Fraternity Incorporated.
Come on, man. That's what's up, bro. That's what's up. That's good, man. So tell me, you wrote this book to highlight your journey into becoming president of the SGA. What was your process like, man? What was the process like to, writing a book and then getting it self-published?
Yes. So I first had a desire to write a book back in 2019, but I kind of tabled it in the beginning of 2020 based off of all the COVID-19 and a lot of situations that were going on. So towards the end of 2020, I had a vision again to pick the book back up and just create something. And I was inspired, one by myself, and then with some doubt that a friend kind of placed on me. And with me, I don't live in doubt. I'm a type of person where if I believe in something, I have to pursue it. Yeah. So on November 6, 2020, I picked up my computer and I just started writing. And I didn't know what I was going to write about. I knew I wanted to write about helping people because that's what my heart had placed. That's what my heart had desired during that time. So I just reached out to some of my friends who were published authors and just insisted that, if you guys can help me along this process, that would be great. Yeah. And I just began writing. One of my friends who published his book while in college, talking to him, he began to just tell me, don't focus on the fanatics of writing or just trying to build your chapters and stuff like that. Just try your best to figure out what you think is important to you. And I began to just write some of the things down that were important to me. Yeah. So once I had my computer in my hand, I also had my notepad. I'm a firm believer of pencil and paper. Yeah. Because I can actually see and envision some of the thoughts that are kind of spiraling in my head versus looking at a screen. So once I came to a conclusion of becoming published, that was a long process. In the beginning, just trying to fight off writer's block, just trying to block out time, especially during the latter part of the year when holiday season's around and you're just trying to sacrifice some time. So I avoided sometimes spending with friends because I had to block out that time just to actually sit and write. And some days my mom will come downstairs in the dining room and I'll be asleep on the table with one sentence on the page. Yeah. And then I'll wake back up and it would be 2 a.m. And I'm like, wow, I really sat here for about 6-7 hours a day and I just let the time pass. But that's one thing I found in myself was, the dedication to pursue something that I believed in.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And your story is one that I'm sure a lot of current authors can relate to, and it's something that'll help aspiring authors to just to pick up that pencil if they want to use a pencil and piece of paper, or start chopping a bit at their computer screen. So what? Give us some insight into, I don't want you to give the whole thing away, but we definitely want people to read your book. But give us some insights, like what could the reader expect from your book, and who is it for?
Yes. So the first thing you definitely can expect is transitional periods that a lot of people kind of miss in their lives. First, that middle school period, and from being in middle school, then going to high school, then going from high school to college. Right. I rarely saw people talk about that period and how that affects, men in today's society, especially through social influences and just being in that network of just being in school.
Mhm.
And of course, elementary school, you don't really have an effect, but that middle school part is just like that middle bridge between elementary school and high school. And then once you get to high school, you're just trying your best to just grow as a human being or just try to figure out where your place is in your life. So in one of my chapters, I talk about my ego and how that was influenced once I left middle school into high school,
Mhm.
and how that badly affected me throughout that first year of just trying to fit in and trying to find my way and doing anything possible to become noticed.
Right.
And I saw that a lot in males because my book is tailored towards males
Okay.
in those transitional periods
Okay.
of their lives, and just trying to find out where my place is in life. And the influence with females or just influence with bad crowds, you see all of that in high school,
Yeah.
from middle school to high school. And then once you get to college, you're still in a stage where it's like, okay, I'm free. My parents are not here. And what can I do? How can I grow? College is a place where, you want to grow as a leader. You want to pursue your dreams, your passion, and you're just trying to find out where your place is. So I talk about that in one of my chapters called Ego Booster.
Mhm.
And that's chapter 3, guys. So being able to find myself in that period was the hardest part. And I'm touching on that because men are fighting off, self-doubt, stress, vulnerability. They're
Mhm.
trying to figure out where their place is. And I was at that point where I didn't know what to do, but just be consumed by the outside voices of everybody else.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's basically what my book is.
So,
Um,
so you basically stated that your book is tailored to young men or men that are
yeah,
going through. So
transitional.
specifically men that are going through college, or are they out of college? I mean, what's the
Yeah, so,
what's the major
so
demographic?
so the major demographic right now is the people. One, if you're a twin, because I focus on identical twin, that's the first thing. And
Okay.
then the second thing is being able to realize that through anything you go through, those transitional periods,
Yeah.
you still can be successful. Because my means to an end was becoming student body president.
Got
I
it.
saw myself in a whole entire different light. One, being a twin, I focused on that too.
Yeah.
Had a whole entire influence on my life, just trying to find myself. And like I said before, those transitional periods made it even worse
Yeah.
because I had a twin and just trying to figure out, where do I fit? What is my identity, instead of being constantly compared to him? So I
Right.
found myself in a whole entire light once my senior year came around to
Uh-huh.
become student body president, that my focus was me. Like everyone, I was so sure in myself that I had no outliers that no one can take away from me.
Yeah.
So the main point is to be able to get males to understand that through their transitional periods, you're going to reach a point where you're going to see yourself in a better light than what you saw before in the past.
I love it, man. I love it. So now that you've written the book, what's next? I mean, like what are you looking to do? What's on your future journey? Like, how do you now leverage the book? What are you going to do with it?
Yes. So the first thing I definitely want to do is to go back to Norfolk State, or just go back to high schools that I previously attended, because I attended 2 high schools that I talk about. One is inactive because it closed. I also mentioned this in the book and how that badly affected me. Um, and just being able to leave that school from 3 years being there, because it closed down due to low student enrollment, and I had to attend a new school, and how that affected me. So being able to go back to those environments and speak to the students, and how I was able to grow from here into where I am now.
Right.
And then also being able to talk into inner circles. So right now, me and my identical twin brother, we have a program called Boys of Distinction.
Mm.
And that is a program that is picked up as, it's a program called House of Ruth Family First 1 and 2, which is in Washington, D.C. And they focus on domestic women's violence. But we don't speak to domestic women, we speak to their children, their male children. So we jump-started our program on September 16th, which was this past Thursday.
Yeah.
And it's a 10-week program to pretty much develop men into the embodiment of who they wish to become. So we can focus on personality, identity, of course, females, and how to deal with them, how to cope with your emotions, how to pretty much grow from those bad influences, even though you may feel that those people are your friends and you want to be around them, just trying to figure out how to break away from them. And then just building that confidence to pretty much keep going. So that is my main focus right now, is to pretty much grow that program into a longevity program over the course of these 10 weeks and beyond.
Yeah, that's good, man. I definitely applaud and admire you for the work that you're doing, especially keeping up with, the aims of our fraternity. We focus on manly deeds, scholarship, and love for all mankind. Let's talk a little bit about the challenge of putting a book together. There's three different routes. We often talk about this within Self-Publish in 30 Days. There's three routes that people can take when it comes to getting published. Number one, you can actually get picked up by a traditional publisher. Number two, you can go the route of doing it yourself, kind of like building your own house. And then number three is getting like a general contractor that will work with you along the way based on what your specifications are. So what prompted you to go the self-publishing route, and what challenges did you face as a self-published author?
So first, why I chose, I think it's an echo a little bit, but I chose to go the self-published route based off of relationship. And I noticed that through some of my peers who went the self-published route, that they were able to connect with a network of people through self-publishing. So if you have a ghostwriter, you're able to speak with them and connect with them, even outside of the book in the process. You're speaking with them, you're talking with them, getting to know them better. You also have enough time for yourself to not have a set timeline, but you still have an idea of when you want to be finished. Right. So being able to have that space and concrete idea to grow with other people, to ask those questions that kind of just popping off. I think the self-publishing route was the best route for me, especially being, I wrote my book my senior year of college. So that was a lot on me too, just being able to block out time to do that. And I'm sorry, your next question was.
What was the biggest challenge that you had to overcome
my biggest challenge,
in the self-publishing process?
Yeah, so my biggest challenge definitely was creating a schedule. So I know that has definitely helped me now to create a schedule every single morning when I wake up at 7 a.m., 7:30, to create a schedule for a day. And I had to make sure that if I'm focusing on chapter 1 or 2 or chapter 3 and 4, or if I'm focusing on a segment of chapter 1 or a segment of chapter 4 and 5, being able to add that into my daily routine of going to class, of being student body president, of having my internship with the Senate or having my internship with the school. I had so many things, and creating a social life, just being able to have, a concrete hour, 2 hours to just sit down and either write, record on my phone and, speak on my phone, or things I want to talk about, to make sure my voice matches the words that are going to be in the book. So you can understand how I speak. So that was the most challenging point, definitely throughout the whole entire self-publishing process, because a lot of stuff was going on, especially being in school, just trying to focus and write a book.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, even through the challenge, even through the struggle, you still did it. So I applaud you. Welcome to the Authors Club. We are excited to be able to highlight you on today. As we land the plane, let me ask you some final, kind of round robin type questions, right? So do you plan on writing again? Do you plan on putting another book out there?
Of course.
Okay, very good, very good. If you had the opportunity to go anywhere in the world to write your next best-selling book, say for example, I was paying for it, right? I was coming out of pocket, I was writing out of self-publishing 30 days budget, right? To send you anywhere in the world to write your next book, where in the world would you go?
Europe.
Okay, any place in particular? Europe is a big continent. Any place in particular?
I would definitely have to say Italy. I believe Italy is in Europe. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Italy is in Europe. So Italy, mainly because, so I have Italy, and then I would say India. Only because India is a place of full meditation and focus. Right. And doing my research on that country in general, I would definitely choose India over Italy. So India is my place.
Got it. So. Okay, India. Okay, very good, very good. Well, listen, Jeremiah, it's been a pleasure to have you on the Author Spotlight Show, which is conducted and coordinated by Self-Publishing 30 Days. Hey, any final words? Matter of fact, how can people find you, man? If people want to purchase your book, they want to support you, they may want to bring you in to speak to their young men. How can they find you?
Yes, so you can find me on Instagram at jeremiah.o'bryant. So it's JEREMIAH.O'Bryant. And then on Twitter is JDOBryant_. And then my website, if you want to reach out to me on my website or even purchase my book, you can reach my website at jeremiahobriant.com.
Excellent, excellent. You all have been listening to Jeremiah O'Brien, new published author, my alpha brother, graduate of a HBCU. We're excited about the growth that this young brother is going to experience over the next several months and years. And you've been, once again, listening to the Authors Spotlight here, Self-Publishing 30 Days podcast. I'm your host, Rob YB Youngblood, President of Sales for Self-Publishing 30 Days. Remember, be encouraged, be blessed, and most of all, continue to walk in your gift, because your gift will make room for you. Remember, this is the year for your new book. Be encouraged. Peace.